Okay. Mhm. Okay. So the strategy is pretty simple. We're trying to get to about 120 million. And then when we get to 120 million, I can borrow another 60. And then we can basically beat the game. I don't think I can do Lima to London, but I want to try. No, I can't do it. No, that's not actually worth it then, is it? Okay, so I think I can make this work. San Francisco to London in the next couple days. I can do that. There's got to be something. Got to be. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I've seen it too. Well, there goes. Ooh, that might work perfectly. No! It won't work perfectly because it's fucking Saturday. God damn it. Mm, mm. Hey, Macho, how you doing? Oh, God damn it. No, that's not it either. Not worth it. Snacks will be here soon, by the way, guys, just so you guys know.
Achtung, Sicherheitshinweis. Bitte lassen Sie Ihr Gepäck nicht unbeaufsichtigt. Security advice. Please do not leave your baggage unattended.
Stupid game. Yeah, don't get used to that. Not going to be a ton of those. That is not typical Geno fare, but it was nice to see it for one day. Yeah, you know, and the Browns would probably compete for the Super Bowl. Like, I don't even think it's ridiculous to say that the Browns would be a Super Bowl contender right now if they had a real quarterback. Watson had 3 Pro Bowl caliber seasons, right? Watson made the Pro Bowl 3 times. Oh, perfect. Oh, hell yeah. Still want to find something here. From San Fran to London. Please get me closer, man. Maybe this Detroit to London works. Yeah. Watch. Apparently they're trying to find a legal way out of it. How amazing would that be if they found some way to get out of that contract? No. Doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I think we're just going to do that. Yeah. That Washington defense is probably atrocious this year, though. I think that has more to do with it than anything else. Okay, we need to find some good ones. Six Flags, the Chiefs. No. What team I think is going to win a lot of games this year that no one is acknowledging? I still think the Falcons are going to end up being good, although I'm shaky now. Cousins might be shot. I don't feel as good about that as I did previously. Nah, I don't think Indy's going to be that good. Richardson's probably going to get hurt. And I don't know how good I think the rest of that team is, honestly. Post. Well, the main difference is the tackling. Like, that's something fundamental that has nothing to do with the quarterback we were playing. There we go. Lonely rivers cry.
Good morning. There's been I at least not furthermore employed I have at least not
All right, we are so close, guys. I don't think the Saints are going to be good. Ooh. The East could be weak. I feel like Dallas is going to rack up a lot of wins. It just may not result in the desired ultimate outcome. I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to fit that one in, but I have to try. Oslo to Johannesburg. Wait a minute. I can't allow that to happen.
Boss, our flight increase. Okay, anything?
I kind of can, Macho. I mean, their quarterback is bad. They kind of have a bum quarterback. What are you going to do?
Der Falkenlines Flug aus.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's still crazy worth it, even if this is suboptimal. Oh, yeah. I thought Nick's was really rough, man. I'm not optimistic about his future. I mean, he had zero accuracy every time he tried to push the ball down the field at all, is the thing. Like, it wasn't even close. That's my issue with it. It's the damn He was so afraid to take any risks in that game for most of it, and when he did, it didn't work at all because he was either inaccurate or just plain not making the right decision. Yeah, the receivers are bad. That's valid. Mm-mm. Yeah, the inaccuracy was rough. Hmm. Oh my god. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pick that up. God, that would be so good. $3.5 million. But yeah, my plane's literally on the other side of the world. There's like a 0% chance I'm able to fit it in. I'm not even gonna try. Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch.
Leave your baggage unattended.
I think Grubb is going to be excellent once we figure out the offensive line. So hopefully figuring out the offensive line happens in the next couple of days here. Not that this has anything to do with us at this point, but what the hell is up with Marvin Mims? The dude can't get on the field. This was a second round pick. What the hell is going on there? It's like... Have I? Mhm. Mims didn't really play. Like, doesn't he need to get on the field? Oh yeah, this is still totally worth it, actually. Although if I could find something San Fran to London sub 289 today or tomorrow. Yes, user error. I'm very confident they do. So, is Aaron Rodgers washed up? What do you guys think? Because he doesn't have a year to wait to come back from this Achilles thing, right? He can't just say, well, I'll be at 100% next year, because next year he's going to be like 41 years old or something. I hope you did it on BetUS user error, because they're giving away free money right now. Let's try this St. Louis to London shit. I'll bet I can't do it, though. Okay, London to America. Can we find anything? This is the closest one. Okay, let's try it. I doubt it works, but... Yeah, I don't think it works. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, that's still fine. Who's the DC right now? It's not Wilkes. Yeah, no, it's Staley, right? No, Staley's good, man. Staley's a really good DC. Oh, it's Sorensen. What happened to Brandon Staley then? Mhm. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I knew he was somewhere, and I thought he was on the Niners. CMC was hurt. He didn't play. And I guess he's going to miss next week, too. I think we can get that one. I will say it does feel like this has got to be a year where CMC gets hurt at least once, right? Like he's been remarkably durable for a year and a half, but it cannot hold. So San Francisco to London on the big one. Okay, let's see if we can find anything. That might work. Well, yeah, I mean Frank Gore is legitimately like brain damaged. Like we know that. So it's not really surprising. Okay. That's better than it was. Yeah, that's way better. I barely lose anything now. Did he sound like Dion Waiters? Because I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about. Did he sound like Dion Waiters? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, that's pretty good. I believe it. 100 milli, baby. 100 milli. We are right on the verge here, guys. Francor was stupid before he had CTE. And by the way, when I say that, I'm being intentionally insensitive. He's not stupid. He just has severe dyslexia. He apparently can't read. So the CTE has just made him even more stupid, basically. It has made him stupid in a way that he wasn't before. So, yeah, the CTE plus the legit mental disability that he has taken our boy. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that off. No. So let's see here. Does his son have it too? I don't know.
I'm looking. The caps. You have it already.
So this is going to be 180 million. So I need 120 million so I can borrow the rest. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, come on. That would have been so good. That's not right. That's fucking dirty, dude. It was set up perfectly for me. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do that. It's not ideal. Can I get out of America over to, like, Europe-ish? No. Damn it. Okay, that's fine. It's independent study. I never played football. I never even went to high school. So how would I have played it, right? I don't think the Rams are going to be good this year anymore. I think that the Rams, all those injuries have already kind of sunk their battleship. I'm super pessimistic about the Rams now. Their entire offensive line is a wreck. Okay, good enough. Better movie for meme, Spider-Man 3 or Revenge of the Sith? Probably Spider-Man 3. The Raimi Spider-Man subreddit goes hard. Yeah, Nakua. Someone get this man a gun.
Mr. Haggard. Sure, you're okay.
Yeah, so far looking good, man. But we'll see where it goes. I don't think I can fit that one in. Nah. I'm obligated to try, but there's no fucking way. No. Well. Oh, come on. Is there any way? No, I think we gotta toss this one. It's only 140 grand or something. Worth it. What is this game? It's called Airline Tycoon Deluxe. Basically, you're running an airline, and what you have to do is you buy planes, and then you hire pilots and stewardesses to be on the planes. You can upgrade the planes, and then you basically just live in the airport and you pick up orders to fill. And then you have to assign a plane to the order that can actually get there in time and execute on said order. Every order has a premium, which needs to be offset by how expensive the flight is to execute based on fuel costs and maintenance. I've just about beaten it, because after I beat this last scenario, I'm going to call it good. I played some city builder games. They're good. Let's see here. Tunisia to New York. Can I do that? No. No, probably not. I have heard of Pharaoh, but I have never played it. No. I have so much time to do this one. I think that's what I had too, actually. Okay, so we can't do that one. I'm genuinely confused why so many people think that Kyler's really good now. It seems like his absence from the league these last couple years, more or less, has made people think he's much better than he is. I don't think I can do any of those, so I'm just gonna jump forward. Come on, I need $12 million, and I can finish this, I think. I just need, oh my god, I need a bunch more flights. Okay, we need to load up big time here, man. Okay, I need some other flights. I need some companion flights for that. Okay. Phoenix to London, Lima to London, Johannesburg to London. I just need flights that go into London. Well, the Panthers are kind of dead in the water because they have a terrible owner, more than anything, I think. I think that owner situation is like death. How are you ever going to be good when you have that as an owner? Ooh, perfect. Perfect. Insert the Minecraft boom sound effect. Or no, I'm sorry, Roblox. Okay, I can just discard this one for no fee, so I'm just going to do that, which sucks, but I have to. Hmm. Ooh. No, we can't get any either of those. There's no way they give up on CJ Stroud already, right? They're stuck for another year at least, I feel like. No, that one's not going to work either. Damn it. Damn. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know what to say about that, Santi. Mm. Yeah, Bryce Young. What did I say? Okay, good. We've pulled it in. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Hmm. Okay, well, Carolina draft Shadur. I'm starting to get a little concerned about Shadur. I was kind of on his wagon. Now I don't really know what to think. I don't know if he has, like, a true NFL arm. Vegas to London. Can we find anything in that realm? New York to London might work. Atlanta to London might work. Ooh. Okay, that's going to help. Okay. I don't like any of these that much. Well, it's until Monday. I can definitely fit that in.
Achtung, Sicherheitshinweis.
Probably Beck.
Lassen Sie Ihr Gepäck
Santi. See you later, user error.
Security advised.
I think Beck's the #1 quarterback in the draft right now, but I don't know. He's not great. I don't think he's a great prospect. Cam Ward doesn't have a great arm, though, I think. I think Cam Ward's arm leaves a little bit to be desired. I need to find some flights from America into London. Maybe this will work. Maybe these will work. Let's try it. Damn it, it's the one day that I can't do. Let's try this one then real quick. No, it's the same damn problem. God dang it. Okay, well, I'm throwing that away too. Not enough money for me to even care. It's not a great QB class. It's not. You know, the thing is, I remember very clearly that Purdy was getting hype in college, and then his last year or last 2 years were so disappointing. He completely fell off the face of the world. But Purdy was like a first-round pick at one point, 2 years before he declared. I remember we talked about him on the chat sometimes.
Good morning. There's been employees I have at least not. And let's start. The condition is your planes are in, and now and finally your
Great. Yeah, Jean-T, he's fun. I haven't been looking at running backs that much this year because the Seahawks don't need one, but he's definitely going crazy. Vegas to London. Maybe I can fit that one in. Okay, let's get it back to London. I wanna play house with you. Babe. God, that would almost get me all the way there by itself. Yeah, I only need another, like, 2 million. And I got a lot of flights to fill up. No, not really, Santi. They're okay. They... Ooh, that's a good one.
Achtung, Sicherheitshinweis. Bitte lassen Sie Ihr Gepäck nicht unbeaufsichtigt. Security advice. Please do not leave your baggage unattended.
Yeah, think about how excited Tyreek's kids and baby mamas were to see that. They were probably thrilled. I think when you look at it along them lines, you'll find it's not so bad. Good. Nussmeier's pretty good, but yeah, LSU might not be good. They don't really have a lot of top prospects this year other than the offensive linemen, it feels like. So, simple and clean is the way that you making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. I'm discarding this. I don't want it. Okay, we did it. So I think we can go beat the game now. I'll save before I do this, just in case. Pretty sure
I'd
all I
like
have to do is take out the maximum loan. And then I just go to NASA and build the rest of the rocket. I think I have enough money. And if not, I'm making money pretty quickly now, so it won't really matter that much.
Hello?
I'm looking. The captain. You have it. In the tape. The navigation. Cockpit. Nothing. I'm looking. The frick. You have it all. Hello? Just come. Welcome back to. Can you tell? Building a rocket? Well, then we offer everything. You should begin with the base and buy the rocket part for part. Of course, at first you need a base station with tower and holding arm. Then I'm looking. You have it all.
Okay, I think we did it. I'll play the day out just in case I end up having to do more. Nope. There we go. Alright, Snacks, can you hear me? Snacks?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yes, I can.
How you doing?
Sorry, I was not sure if I was hearing the stream audio or you.
What is
I'm
going on?
Going all right. So, I know obviously you Seahawks fans are upset that the 49ers won, but let's be real here. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was genuinely Aaron Rodgers' first game playing with the Jets, and we saw plenty of footage coming out of that training camp that his receiver core basically hate him.
Right.
Definitely don't want to be working with him. Which, if he was in his prime, it wouldn't fucking matter. He'd have dragged his dick all over their faces anyway. But not only is he like 50, but he's coming off an Achilles tear. So like,
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
which is to say, even though he had an interception, if you discount that interception, like if you just take that interception away, he basically had the same game that Brock Purdy did, except maybe a little bit better.
The interception was kind of a fluky play.
I know, but it's still massively impacts stuff like his QB rating. Because if it hadn't been for that, his rating would have been higher than 30s. And again, even though he lost and the team lost bad to the point where Aaron Rodgers had to actually get benched, not because he did bad, but because obviously the game was over and they didn't want to risk him getting hurt. He still had a much better game than the vast majority of quarterbacks who lost this week.
Very true. Very fair.
In his first real game with the Jets, when basically his entire receiver core hate him, that's not bad at all. But now that you're finished with Airline Tycoon,
Mm-hmm.
remember we have 10 days until the Dead Rising remaster comes out. Are you thinking of playing the original?
I am. And
by that I mean literally right now, since you have time to play something else.
Yes, that's kind of what I meant. Hold
Okay.
on, let me make sure here. But if the original Dead Rising remaster is not co-op, I would not necessarily be in the world's biggest rush to play it, because I wasn't like some kind of super fan of Dead Rising or anything to where it's like, oh, I have to play the next one.
Definitely fair enough. I'm checking it out right now because the game is finally available on Steam to pre-order, and no, it does not have co-op. It is a straight up 1-to-1 remaster of the original. The only real overhaul at all is that they replaced the voice actor, but that's something extremely easy to do. The game itself is the same.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I didn't even realize this was happening during the game, but here, I'll send you this cool link.
Oh, how about that?
All right, we have finished Airline Tycoon Deluxe.
Yeah. Tyreek. Yeah, I've seen him, Santi. The body cam footage about Tyreek is absolutely fucking hysterical because 1,000,000% he deserved that and earned it. First of all, he was speeding an outrageously high speed, which makes sense because he's driving around in his fucking sports. I think it's a Lambo, but I'm not sure. So he's driving around in that, but it's in the city of Miami. He's on city streets. Duh, because he's heading to the stadium. But he's on city streets and he's going way the fuck over the speed limit. Because, like, you look with the body cam footage behind him, there's like 8 or 9 motorcycles for the cops behind him. It was damn near a car chase because it took him so long to pull over. So after you're speeding way over, after you took forever to fucking pull over and stop, the window comes down, and not only are you a complete asshole to the cops, but you don't have your seatbelt on. And when they ask you, why don't you have your seatbelt on, your response is to be like, really, bro, can we just hurry this up? Because I got to get to the game. And then he tries rolling his fucking window up. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you're just asking for an ass kicking at that point. Yeah, seriously, Sandy. It's like, it's like the famous clip when Chris Rock had a TV show where he was all like, how to handle interacting with the police. And he's all like, some of you may be confused why white men don't get beat by the police as often as black men do. You may think it's just racism. It could also be this. And then just, all the typical shit. And he's all like, here's a tip. If an officer asks you to stop, listen to him. If he has to chase after you, he's bringing an ass kicking with him. And that's exactly what fucking happened. They had to chase after him, and they brought an ass kicking with them. Like the moment he's on the ground, he's all like, "Oh, come on, man, I'm recovering from knee surgery, bro." That shit was months ago, and he goes to play a fucking NFL game right after he says this shit. Come on, man. Like, he's pulling all the stops out, so everyone's caping up for him because he's a black guy. And I'm all like, at this point, you should throw race out the window and realize that that is a rich man trying to abuse the system to make sure that even though he damn well deserves to have gotten his ass kicked by the police, he's trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And of course, the first thing he does is cry racism. All those dudes were fucking Cubans. Like, that shit was hysterical. Start to finish. Truly a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I
You'd
mean,
love to see it.
obviously, the reason why they have him say it is to try to discredit him in the movie, because that's basically what the whole movie was. But
Yeah,
when Derek Vineyard is talking about respecting a cop's authority, even if you don't respect the cop, rings true in a moment like this.
absolutely. And it's just so insanely stupid. Why would you do that? Just why? And the answer is because he knows that he's going to be able to get away with it. Aside from the fact that he's rich, he's also super, super fucking black, so he gets away with it. It's such bullshit.
Okay, I just installed Dead Rising 1.
No problem. So a couple of things that I want to tell you ahead of time, and I'm going to tell you this just to try to make it so that you can enjoy the game as much as possible and not be frustrated. The game still plays great, and it holds up very well,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I'm so excited for the remaster because the game itself is still great. But um, the AI for the survivors in the first Dead Rising game is notoriously ass awful, to the point where literally every single other Dead Rising game was all about trying to improve that AI as much as possible
Mm-hmm.
because it was the worst reputation for um, escort mission mechanics of any game ever. This game came out 2 years after Resident Evil 4, and people are like, dude, this is so much worse than Ashley. Has Capcom learned nothing? And the answer was, of course not, because it's different teams. But anyway. And when you start off the game, it's just like when we first started playing Dead Rising 2, where when you're low level, you're super slow and you don't have a lot of health.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be entirely possible that you end up having to uh, do the same restart like we did when we were playing our co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like part of the game. Like you said yourself, it's almost a roguelike where you gotta grind up a little bit before you can actually play the game properly, but once you get there it's really fun.
Oh my god, I'm looking at these controls. So you have a photo camera that you aim with the
Yes.
right mouse button, and in order to aim your weapon, you use Q? Well, that's disgusting.
Yes. The controls for the first Dead Rising kind of sucked. They learned their lesson a lot, so when you play as Frank again and have similar mechanics, Frank West is a journalist. Oh, in every game where you play as Frank West, that's the first Dead Rising 2 off the record, and Dead Rising 4. Frank's photo camera is like an iconic part of the experience, being able
Mm-hmm.
to take pictures.
Yeah.
Um, so the controls for that in the first game kind of sucked, but they learned their lesson, and off the record, it's way better. In Dead Rising 4, it's way better. Um, yeah, like it's my whole point. Everything I'm saying is that it's really easy to just like not want to be involved in it, to like check out real early because the game almost feels like it's too difficult to get into at first. Controls are bad, the survivor AI is bad, and you start off when you're so low level, your stats are terrible. But as you continue to play, so then the controls become muscle memory for you. You've gotten used to the quirks of the survivor, so you can handle it better, and you've leveled up more, so you have better stats. And the game is still super fun. That's why they're making a remake now, because there's still a very active community still playing it to this day, and it came out 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What do you think made it resonate so much? Because all these things you're saying make it sound like a bad game.
It was because those flaws that I mentioned are the only flaws that it has. Everything else was superb. Um, the voice acting was cheesy in the same way like the very first Resident Evil when they first made it, when they had like the live action cutscenes and shit. Was but people loved that. So it really struck a chord here. It was like a great playable B movie. The idea of being able to take pictures of stuff was really fun, especially as the franchise advanced and they got more creative with it. And yeah, the once you level up more, the game becomes really fun. And it was a very unique idea too. It was the first game of its kind to ever be like, hey, here's a zombie apocalypse. You're just some random guy. Try to save people. Instead of being like, oh no, zombie apocalypse, I'm a hyper trained special forces soldier or a SWAT team member with the local police department or, whatever. And they were just trying to survive themselves. Now it's like not only are you trying to survive yourself, but you're a journalist who's trying to expose the mystery of why this happened, but then also you're trying to save people. And in that sense, it's a pretty fun game. It's like it's definitely not what you'd expect from a zombie game, where you're escorting survivors around, you fight bosses. It's because like you enjoyed when we played Dead Rising 2, right?
Yeah, it's a good game.
The only things that make Dead Rising 1 worse than that was just that it didn't have combo weapons, the survivor AI was worse, and the controls were a little more counterintuitive. But like I said, Dead Rising 2 is just a better version of it because they fixed the problems that it has. But it didn't have many problems. Other than that, it was a fun game. It was a fun idea. It was enjoyable. And while the story and the acting was super cheesy, it was cheesy in the way that video game players love.
Mm-hmm. Makes
And
sense.
and of course the big one, it was like being able to play the movie Dawn of the Dead because it's zombies in a mall. People had been waiting their whole lives for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Because several years ago, I watched a small streamer that I frequently watch try to play the original Dead Rising on Xbox, or maybe it was PlayStation. I can't remember. But he didn't like it very much. He had a really hard time with the controls, and he's like, "I don't think this game is aged particularly well."
Yeah, like I said, it can be hard to get into because of those problems. But once you get the controls down to where they're not bugging you anymore, then the only thing that really consistently will bother you is how the survivors act. But there's just no helping that.
So I liked Airline Tycoon, but I'm happy it's over because that last scenario is a fucking marathon, man. I think I had to earn like $250 million.
It's pretty good. Man. No, in all seriousness, Germany is getting that game as punishment. For last year, the game they got was Chiefs Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a home game for the Dolphins, but everybody rooted for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. They were doing that retarded ass fucking tomahawk chop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're not gonna do a home team shit like you're supposed to, then fuck you. Here's Giants Panthers, worst game of the year. Suck it.
I mean, that legitimately is probably going to be the two teams that pick number 1 and number 2 at this point, I think. Like, that is literally
Oh,
the worst game possible.
absolutely, because I believe that the Giants are the worst team. I think the Giants have a very good chance at going over this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrible, and what's even worse is that they're terrible, and they paid him all that fucking money, and he's dog shit.
Since getting that extension, Daniel Jones has played in, I want to say, 8 games. He has 2 touchdown passes and 3 pick sixes in that 8-game span.
Yeah. That's hysterical. They should have paid that money to Tommy Cutlets.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Think about all the gabagool he could have bought.
exactly. I was just thinking, I'm like, man, fucking fellas down at Sal Vitros, they're not gonna they're not gonna take it too well. But yeah, I think that the Giants are the worst team. But the Panthers are being handicapped by their retarded owner, who just does not want to own up to the fact that he's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, I don't think Bryce Young is unsalvageable. I just think that he ended up on the wrong team. And I feel very similar about Caleb now. I don't think Caleb's going to have anywhere near the career that he would have had if he got drafted by any other fucking team besides the damn Bears.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm not... I don't know. That Bears team at least has receivers. They've got some good receivers on that team. I'm not completely counting them out.
Well, that's exactly the point. They're not supposed to be this bad. No, they've got some good receivers. So Caleb's got something to work with. Plus, they have a very capable defense. They won literally from their defense scoring all their points for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't count field goals as being points that the offense scores. Even though it technically literally is, I just don't count that as points the offense scores. That's just me. But
Okay, let me check
yeah.
something here. Dead
Like
Rising.
if the Bears, if Caleb was ready to go immediately the same way CJ Stroud was, the Bears would be a playoff team.
Yeah, I could agree, and maybe they will be. They won their first game technically.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's like if this is consistent from Caleb, then they don't have a chance. But at this point, between how hyped Caleb was, because I'm not going to call him a bust, not with how hyped he was, but how hyped he was, and then you take a look at all the other fucking guys that the Bears have taken over the last, not even just the last several times they drafted a quarterback, but pretty much fucking forever. It's like, okay, there's something fundamentally wrong with this organization.
The best rookie quarterback this week was probably Michael Penix, who did not play.
Teams even on?
The Falcons.
Oh.
Remember the joke that I made yesterday? Get that
well, that could,
on the field.
Bro, that could have been literally anybody. I mean, a white quarterback in current years pretty rare now, it almost feels like. Even though somehow they always manage to actually be competent, who'd have fucking thought? But yeah.
Okay, so I just checked howlongtobeat.com. Dead Rising is estimated to be about 12 hours long for just the main story. Dead Rising 2 was 14 and a half, so it's a little bit shorter. Although,
Yeah, that tracks.
Interestingly enough, not that this is necessarily useful, because probably very few people actually scored these games. For completionist, the original Dead Rising is 75 hours, and for Dead Rising 2, it's only 52 hours. So it's implying that
I can tell you why that is.
Why?
You said completionist, and that's every achievement. Dead Rising had one of the most notorious achievements ever made. It's called Infinity Mode, and one of the achievements in Infinity Mode was you had to survive for 7 days. Now that's not in real life days. That's in game days. But the thing is, it's still a long time. It's like 14 uninterrupted hours because you can't save. It has to be all the way through uninterrupted. And this was a notorious achievement because remember, when this game came out, it was for the Xbox 360. And if you kept your 360 running for 14 hours, it was probably going to overheat in Red Ring.
So that's just... Man, that makes me think of one of those old Flash games where you had to spam your space bar a million times in order to make progress in the game.
Yeah, because the way that it works is around the mall there's a finite amount of food, and to survive for the 72 hours, you constantly lose health at a slow rate, and it drains down because you need to eat. Simulating hunger. So you couldn't just find a safe place. Like, okay, I'm safe here. Nothing can attack me. I'm fine. And then just hide there and like go to work or something. You had to stay at the game for every like 19 minutes. You'd have to eat. 19 real life minutes. And then survive there for 7 is just blah. But the reason it's shorter in the game is because if you remember when we were playing Dead Rising 2, they had a fake out where the first 72-hour time limit was until the military arrives. So then the military shows up, but then the zombies mutate and they get their asses kicked. Then after that, it was another 24 hours until the firebomb. And then after that, there was a little bit more for overtime. And in the original Dead Rising, that 72 hours is until Frank's ride out of the mall shows up, which is when the game starts, he's being deposited into the mall in the center of the city by a helicopter pilot that he hired to fly him in because he just heard that Wilmette, Colorado, was being locked down by the military. He was like, "I'm going to fly in there to see what's going on because if they locked it down, there must be some kind of a riot or something." So then he goes in, finds out it's a zombie outbreak. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Mm.
But his contact's going to come back in 72 hours from when he drops him off to go pick him up. So. And 72 hours goes by, and the helicopter pilot does show up. Now, after that happens, then you get overtime, and the overtime isn't that long, but it's just that original 72-hour tick down plus overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, Tyreek Hill is a classic example taking the hood rat out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the hood rat. Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. I wanted to play Ace West, but it's only for Xbox. Case West only came out for the 360. It never came out on anything else. That's upsetting.
Okay. So I just installed Jedi Academy as well because I want to play that game. So I can say I'm playing a good Star Wars game while everyone else is playing bad Star Wars games.
That tracks.
Oh wow, the game has multiplayer. I wonder if anybody still plays it. You don't walk away. You don't hear
Oh, I
me
got an
say.
ad break.
Yeah, it'll be done in a minute or two here. I'm just installing
here's
Jedi
Alpha.
Academy. I'm not playing anything for the rest of the night. I'm just literally running out the clock so I get my ad snoozes reloaded for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm just installing the next games I'm going to be playing because these games are really small. Okay. I know you can't see the gamer guy. I haven't set it up yet. I have to figure out if I have to do it the old-fashioned way or the new-fashioned way. Give me a second. Whoa! What the fuck? Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Oh no, I got an advertisement for the Minecraft movie, and it doesn't even look like it's entertaining. And it's hilarious because they're like, "Well, it's not meant for you. It's a children's movie." And I'm all like, "You know what? You know what's really funny?
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid and my dad took me to watch children's movies, there were good children's movies and there were bad children's movies. There were children's movies marketed to kids. It was for kids that my dad still enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
And there are ones where he took me just to shut me up and then he took a fucking nap for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like the Pokemon movie is a kid's movie that is for kids and is bad. You can't really watch it as an adult and give anything resembling a shit.
And unless you're watching it ironically, which some people do.
Yeah. But like there are plenty of movies that are marketed at kids that are also very, very good. You know, like a lot of Disney and Pixar stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just as an example. So like, yeah, sure, this is a kids movie, it's marketed to kids. It's awful. This is a kids movie marketed to kids that I would sleep the entire time, just take a fucking nap.
Yeah.
Just to show my kid up. And the thing is that it's a kids movie marketed to kids, but they missed the fucking boat. They took too long to make this fucking thing. The kids that they're trying to sell this to are teenagers now.
Yeah,
and they're not gonna watch this.
Yeah, Spirited Away is a kid's movie. Princess Mononoke is a kid's movie.
Yeah, pretty much any Miyazaki. Yeah, and like that's Studio Ghibli, phenomenal stuff. Like literally won Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see what this guy Andrew FN said. Was he just a bot?
Yeah,
'Cause,
he
like,
just posted a link to a site where you can get more viewers or something.
Okay, that's surprising because I've never seen somebody who had like an actual name
Mm-hmm.
plus the Amazon Prime badge
Mm.
next to their name.
They're getting smarter.
Either that or they're getting stupider because that's an actual dude who thought he was fucking like
So the debate is
Like-
tomorrow night.
God. Do you know what time? Because I'm wondering if I'm going to be at work when that happens. Apparently, everybody at my work hates Kamala, which made me laugh.
What time is the debate? Let me see here.
People started talking about
Okay, no, you're going to be at work. It starts at 6 p.m. our time.
Okay. Fascinating. Because by the time I get home, it'll probably be over because it's not going to last longer than 2 hours.
Man, I can't. You know, he's actually a lot older than I thought he was, so I shouldn't be surprised. I can't believe James Earl Jones is dead.
Yeah, he was 93, and it seems like he would live forever, and that's just because he was constantly doing the Darth Vader voices to just keep making money to leave to his kids. But yeah, as soon as you hear he's 93, you're like, fuck me. It's like, yeah, dude, the guy was so old. He played an old guy in The Hunt for Red October, which came out so long ago, Alec Baldwin was skinny.
He played an old guy in, what was the name of that baseball movie that was in, The Sandlot?
Field of Dreams?
Yeah, no, yeah, that movie. And then he was in another baseball movie that I think was called The Sandlot or something, where he was an old guy.
He might have been in The Sandlot. Let me see. Yeah, he was. He played the guy that owned the dog, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they fucking updated that fast. He died 5 hours ago. The Sandlot. Apparently, the Sandlot has a wiki, and on the Sandlot wiki it says he was played by the late James Earl Jones. Wow. But anyway, yeah, he was in the Sandlot. He was in Field of Dreams. He was in Frasier. And that's how old that fucking show is that it was a spin-off of Cheers, which was a TV show that ran in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Frasier is such an old show that the last 3 seasons sucked ass because the head writer was killed in 9/11.
Yeah. So, has there ever been a TV show that was a spin-off of a spin-off? Because we finally have one as of a couple months from now. But I'm trying to think if there was one before now.
What's the one you're thinking of?
Young Sheldon is getting a spin-off about the brother getting married or something. So it's a spin-off of a spin-off.
It's wild. Let me see here.
Oh, it's called Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage.
Huh. So the answer is yes.
Oh, really?
Happy Days was itself a spin-off from Love American Style. And Happy Days was so successful, there were several spin-off series, including the very famous Mork and Mindy.
I've never heard of that original show, by the way, the one that Happy Days was a spin-off of.
Neither have I. Let's see here. The series began, this is from the Happy Days Wikipedia entry. The series began as an unsold pilot starring Howard Ross and Anson Williams, which aired in 1972 as a segment titled Love and the Television Set, later retitled Love and the Happy Days for syndication on ABC's anthology show Love American Style. Love American Style was essentially, it would just do a series of random skits. One of them happened to be the pilot for Happy Days. Jesus. Then there's a lot of stuff that doesn't feel like it should count, like the various Law and Orders.
Oh yeah, that I feel like those are all spinning off
Right.
of like the original.
Right. And stuff like the various NCISs and CSI and all that kind of shit. All that sort of stuff, that feels like it shouldn't count. So, here's some other examples. A television show named Good Morning Miss Bliss led to the much more famous and actually well-known spinoff Saved by the Bell, which then had their own spinoff called Saved by the Bell: The College Years and Saved by the Bell: The New Class.
Mm-hmm.
But those count because the original was Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Interesting.
And because Saved by the Bell was so much more popular, and Good Morning Miss Bliss only had 1 season and 13 episodes, they would later on rename Good Morning Miss Bliss into Saved by the Bell: The Junior High Years. It's a question about whether or not you think it counts. But that's the thing, is that the vast majority of people saying stuff, it comes across as being like franchises, and then just doing all the same shit. And the Happy Days thing, I don't even really feel like that counts either.
Mm-hmm.
Because the show that it came from wasn't really about the Happy Days universe. So, in a sense, the one that you're talking about, the Young Sheldon spinoff, may actually be the first time that there's a genuine spinoff of a spinoff that actually has to do with the same subject material and the same characters, but isn't like the same franchise in the sense of like Law and Order or CSI, NCIS, all that kind of shit. So yeah, this might really be the first spin-off by spin-off ever.
Wild.
For sure.
So there's this new TV show coming out in a couple of months. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this single mother who works as a janitor. But the plot is she actually has an IQ of 170. So she's working as a janitor in a police station, and while she's cleaning, she happens to notice a bunch of stuff related to a case that the police are working on, and she solves the case. So the police start like bringing her on to help with tough cases or something.
Wow.
And it's like, if she has an IQ of 170, why is she a single mother who works as a janitor? Why wouldn't they like hire her? This doesn't make any sense.
No, that as a concept actually makes a ton of sense because number one, woman. Number two, I don't think there's anything more common in this world than unrealized potential from somebody who is really smart and just didn't actually make good decisions. For all we know, she's some kind of like autistic fucking little details genius, and that's how she ends up solving a case.
Mm-hmm.
But then also believes in retarded bullshit like, oh yeah, so by the way, you should totally have unprotected sex with that drug dealer because he's so hot. Oh my god. That's how she ends up being a single mom.
Like there's this one scene in the commercial where she brings her child in a stroller to like a murder scene in the middle of a street. And I know it's supposed to be like funny. It's supposed to be, amusing, but it doesn't make any sense.
You know what? That is funny.
I mean, even if we just assume that she's like Walter White, right? Like, if this is like a Walter White situation where Walter White was one of the
Right.
greatest chemists of all time, but he didn't know how to work with people and he was really egotistical, so he just didn't do anything with his life until he was 50. It still doesn't make sense because now she's working with the police to solve cases. Why wouldn't she just, you know, go work with the police? I don't know. I thought it was pretty stupid of an idea for a show.
Depending on where she's a janitor, that job might
Mhm.
actually be better than being a cop. Because that's another thing, is even if you're actually like a super genius detective, they're not going to make you a detective because detective is a position that you get promoted to.
Mhm.
So if she joined the police force, she'd have to be, a low-level patrolman beat cop at first.
Okay, the show. Okay, yeah, the show is called High
So
Potential.
being being an affiliate is
Mhm.
just sort of like contracted out by the police department to help them makes more sense. But you're right. At that point, you're a freelance contractor. You should be getting paid more doing that. Why the fuck are you still a janitor? Um, they should just be paying you. Be like, okay, guys, I'm now a consultant for the police department, and my going rate is $1,500 an hour.
Mhm.
Something like that. Because like it's the fucking police department, dude. The city will pay it.
Right.
Especially if this is like a modern 2024 city that has an astronomically high crime rate, and they will
Mhm.
do literally anything to try to bring that down. You could make it even like, oh, it's an election year, so well, we're really taking this seriously. But yeah, that's just yeah. They lost me immediately because there's no way that this broad has an IQ above being the most generous I could, 91.
Like, I do believe that there are people in the real world that are extremely smart but never do anything because they're not they don't have the right motivation, or they don't know how to work with people. I'm sure that happens.
Oh no. Oh, good God, no. Please tell me that I'm wrong about this. Let me check. No. That's fucking bro. Please tell me Sandy's still in the chat. That's Sweet D from It's Always Sunny. There's no fucking way.
I didn't even notice that.
Bro, there's no fucking way I could seriously watch this. Because that's all I'm going to be seeing. Sweet D as a fucking janitor solving mysteries? No. First of all, Charlie's the janitor. She fucking stole Charlie's job. Oh, God. No, there's no way.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stream off. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be starting a new game. I think plenty of smart people don't develop work ethics when they're young and it catches up to them. Yeah, or I do think the Walter White example is realistic. Walter White was a genius who was also like a narcissist, and he didn't work with people well, so he never achieved anything until he turned 50. And what he ended up achieving was horrific. So
Uh,
that
uh,
happens.
uh, right. Another good example is one I could use from my own life and what I personally did, which is because you have confidence in your abilities, you just assume that you'll always figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't do things in the meantime that would have actually been smart to do and would have made sense to do and been a wise thing to do. And instead, you kind of just wasted a lot of time until one day you wake up and a lot of time has passed and you're like, oh, fuck, I completely forgot to get this show on the road. And then all of a sudden, oh, I have a completely awful life and this is the best I can do. Whoops. Now, I had that realization when I was old. I was 25 and I was like, I got to get this show on the road. So then I decided to become an electrician. And it took me a number of years to finally do it. And once I finally fucking got there, COVID happened, killed all the work, so I had to go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't you know it, by the time I finally got my degree, I was 2 years into Bidenomics, so there's just no fucking work. Ooh.
Super cool. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. New game tomorrow. I got some videos to make for tonight. Everyone have a good rest of your night, and yeah, go Hawks.